Hey everybody, I'm a day late on the video this week and I apologize for that. Yesterday was a busy day. I had to do a panel for a local news station around disability issues. Got to pimp the company though. Something great about hearing a reporter say, and Josh Winkler, entrepreneur with Cripple Concepts. It's always funny to hear that come out of somebody you're not expecting to hear from. You see a reporter on TV. It's interesting to hear him say the name of your company, knowing this can be on the news. So anyway, did that yesterday and then just got busy in the afternoon and didn't get a video done. Monday I was out in rural eastern Colorado, visiting the hometown of a certain senator named Cory Gardner, meeting some folks out there that are really concerned about Medicare, Medicaid, even some folks on the private insurance side. So I had some good conversations with folks out there, building some trust out in the rural communities. It's where I come from, so I feel like I know those people and I understand their concerns and can have a conversation about them. We're not coming from the big city telling them what to think about healthcare. But today's Wednesday, I'm back in the shop. Feels good to be back out here. And I didn't really know what to do for a video this week because I haven't been out in the shop a lot the last few weeks. But I've been tinkering away on the DM3000 here, the Dynamite 3000 lathe. And I made a couple little upgrades that have made it work a little better for me. I actually am about to send some materials and drawings out to a guy out in eastern Pennsylvania, out by Lancaster, out in Amish country, on the eastern half of Pennsylvania. Scott, I know you're watching the video, so guy that found me through YouTube actually. So I really appreciate him reaching out. Another guy with a disability that's got a machine shop at his house, and he's got a little bigger machinery though than me. So he's gonna knock out a batch of knobs for me because I really want to get selling them. They're working really well, the couple that I've made, and I am going to get this machine dialed in. But the reality is, I'm not really the guy to do production work like that. He's got a lathe rather. They just got it set up and running that is badass, and it can knock out. He can knock out hundreds of them for me. I only need to do about 20 or so for now, but if those sell well, then we'll keep rolling on it, keep having building batches of knobs. So hey, if y'all are interested, keep watching here in the next few weeks. Should have some knobs available. But I do want to keep working on this lathe because there's a lot of little prototype projects I want to do. I'm actually working on a little T-handle, a little aluminum T-handle joystick for a guy here that I met actually while I was outside of Cory Gardner's office. Guy who happened to work for the city of Denver, and he was just rolling by doing his job. And I got chatting with him, and he had built one himself out of PVC pipe, and he hit me up. I wondered if I could make him an aluminum one. So in order to do that, I have to actually drill out a piece of aluminum that'll go over the stem on his joystick and then weld a cross tube across it. I'll throw an Instagram picture up or something. By the way, I'm on Instagram. I think I finally figured out how Instagram works. I think I've got like 3 pictures up there. So put a link down below. Check us out on Instagram now. And I'm going to try doing more updates when I do little random projects like that maybe don't really deserve a video. And I'll be honest, it's going to be a project that I work on and off for about a week. I cut the parts the other day. My buddy's coming by to weld them together tomorrow. I can't TIG weld, so he's going to TIG them together for me. So it's been one of those just little side projects that's taken a little while, but as I do that kind of stuff, I'll throw it up on Instagram, throw you up quick pictures so you can see. We're always interested in taking on some of these custom projects. So yeah, hit us up if you have some other ideas and stuff you'd like us to build. Anyway, to the lathe itself here, one of the problems I've had is I use an ER40 collet up here, which is a pretty precision collet. It works pretty well, but you have to torque it a lot to get it to hold in parts, especially plastic. I found Delrin, if I do any cuts from left to right, it'll start pulling the part out of the chuck, or out of the collet. And so I built a cheater bar wrench for it. So you can see just the black part there is the factory original wrench for the collet chuck. And that's, I don't know, 8 inches, 10 inches long. So you can do an ER40 collet, I think I read 140 foot-pounds of torque is the maximum they can handle. And I read a lot of people on message boards saying 100 foot-pounds to really hold your parts is the minimum you need to put on there. Well, my wussy ass ain't putting 100 foot-pounds of torque with an 8-inch wrench on anything, especially when I'm reaching in here and you can only get, because of the way these slotted nuts work, you can only get it in a few positions on there. So I was a little bummed, and I was looking into doing a 5C collet, and then you have like more of a traditional collet wrench to tighten it. Wasn't sure I could still do that, so then I was like, well, I could do that, and I could do like a ratchet extension and have some long bar with the ratchet out. I'm like, well, why am I doing all that? I've got this collet chuck. I've got all the ER40 collets. The hold what I need to hold, I just need to torque the damn thing harder. So I went over to the scrap bin and grabbed a piece of 3/4 by 3/4 square steel, just some 16 gauge, drilled a couple holes in the wrench, drilled a couple holes in the square tubing, bolted the damn thing together, took some pretty heavy duty shrink sleeve that I have, some heat shrink. It's actually kind of has the glue on the inside, just on an end piece that my dad left here he got from work. And so now I got a rubber handle and a nice long, I don't know, probably 24 inch, maybe a little more than that, basically 2 foot torque wrench or cheater bar. And so now, you know, if it's 100 foot-pounds of torque I'm shooting for, I think I can put 50 pounds of torque on something. So 50 pounds over a 2 foot bar, I can get 100 foot-pounds of torque. That's probably about the most I can possibly get. I have no tricep muscle, so I can hold my arm up here, but if I start going too far that way, it just falls. I can't pick my arm up right now. I can pick my wrist up and wave to you, but I can't pick the arm up unless I let gravity help. So I got the bicep, got no tricep. So when I'm trying to tighten a wrench, and you know, if you think about the way this chuck works, in order to tighten it I have to push up. I'm using shoulder muscle, that's it. I'm using my shoulder muscle like I'm using now. I don't have any tricep to help push that up and out. And I know right now you're probably saying, no, he's using his tricep. I see him, he's using it. I'm not. If you actually look at the way my arm's moving, I'm actually using gravity. You notice it goes a lot faster when I'm going up, and then I tip my hand out, it goes a lot faster, and it's because I get more gravity working for me. So yeah, I can't really torque the thing any other way. So that's been a nice little addition. I've done a couple parts since then, and it's definitely holding things in tight. The other problem I had, I talked about this in another video, card here to the other video. My drill bit, I have to drill a 1/4 inch hole in all my joystick knobs. And I realized before that it was tipped, I forget if it was up or down, but it was tipped a little bit. And so it was cutting it in at an angle, and of course that was boring it out wider than 1/4 inch. And the simple thing to do for at least the Delrin would have been just go to a smaller drill bit and just say to hell with it and figure out which drill bit worked. But drill bits ain't really made to cut on the sides, and so that was not really the right solution. And on aluminum it would have galled up in a hurry. That would not have worked. So I thought I got it fixed. In that other video I talked about what I did to modify the tool holder, and I thought I had it all good. I did a jankety way of actually doing my tool offsets in the tool table, and it was pissing me off. It wasn't so working. I was going to try to figure out a way to mount my Heimer in here and use that, and I said, you know what? I think I got a coaxial indicator somewhere in the drawers. I think I picked that up at auction 5 or 6 years ago. Sure shit I did. I have an old Blake coaxial indicator. So I put that in today with a 1/4 inch drill rod that I had in my ER20 that I used for the drill bit. And it turned out that my tool offset was wrong in my X, and my tool was still tipped. I was out 5 thou in vertical and like 15 thou in X. So ain't no wonder I've been boring out my holes way oversized. It's part of the reason I haven't put knobs up for sale. It's because you want it to fit snug when it goes over the stem for the joystick on the actual controller. The set screws will hold a little bit, but you can't have the damn thing sloppy. Like, I'm not going to sell just shoddy shit like that. So put in the coaxial indicator and dialed it right in. I wish I would have taken the time to do this 2 months ago when I actually first ran into this issue. I'll bring the camera over in a second and show you the actual indicator. I don't think I can position myself to where I can actually spin it well while the camera's there. I think the camera will be in my way. But it's totally manual. You have to, I couldn't fire up the spindle and watch it while it spun. So I just turned the spindle by hand, and then you can probably see in the video now, the actual dial rotates freely. So the needle on the end that's touching the round stock in the ER20 collet holder here, the needle is in line with the spindle, and that's all locked together, and then the actual indicator piece rotates around the outside. So I turn the spindle a little, and then I turn the indicator so I can see it, and then I turn the spindle, turn the indicator so I can see it. And yeah, it didn't really take that much effort to figure out or to dial in. So I'm really glad I bought that tool like 4 or 5 years ago whenever I bought it, even though I didn't use it till now. That's why I buy things when the price is right. So I'm going to move the camera over so you can actually see the way I got it set up, and if I can, I'll show you how I actually dialed it in. So I was right about not being able to show you how I actually operate this because I can't get the camera in there and get myself in there at the same time. But you can kind of see the setup. So the coaxial indicator's over on the spindle. It's in the ER40 collet, and then I have just the drill rod. So that's not just 1/4-inch round stock in the ER20 collet holder on the right. That's actually some drill stock, so that's a lot more, that's precision ground actually. Don't really know why I even had the piece, but I had the piece. So I put that in there. And then that little needle that is right now on the bottom side of that piece of round stock or drill rod, it has a slight bend to it, and I think I have 4 or 5 different bends, so you can use that inside of a hole on the outside. And then if you look the way that the indicator actually works, you can kind of see in the center there where the little V is. I don't have a pointer here, but it basically works by tipping, so it can tip either direction. So you can actually go on either side of that rod with the tip of the little needle with the little round ball on it, and it just tips and pushes the whole body of the indicator to the left, and then that's just a nice flat ground surface on the right side of the indicator that little V piece sits on. It's pretty basic, pretty simple, but it works. And I'm dialed in now to less than half a thou, so that's close enough for my work. Like I say, these things are not a precision fit as much as, you know, what I'm making with it now, at least the knobs aren't. They actually need to be just slightly over 1/4 of an inch, so they'll slide easily over the stem, but without any slop. And yeah, this indicator, I probably gave 30 or 40 bucks for it, which was a steal at the time. I don't know what they go for on eBay, but I have to think over $100, maybe over a couple hundred. They're actually a really nice piece. So yeah, that's my coaxial indicator setup to dial in my tool. It just proves that it's all in the setup. I'm learning that more and more with machining. Building good tool holders, building good work holding, taking the time to set things up. I understand why short run parts cost so much to have made, because all the effort is in the initial setup. Once you do one and you do it right, doing the next 100, even if you're manually swapping parts or something, is a lot easier. That first one is where all the effort is. So I appreciate Scott, and like I said, I'll put a link below to his website out in Pennsylvania, hooking me up on making some knobs. He builds some cool stuff for side-by-sides and off-road stuff, just kind of some small run stuff right now, but really nice guy. I've talked a lot about machining and stuff. He's been a great guy to get to know. So yeah, definitely check out his website if you have some custom work you need done, especially if you're looking for some quantities. I'm good at 1 or 2 parts. He's good at 100 or 200 parts. So kind of we each fit our own little niche there. And I appreciate the community out there. I appreciate folks on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram that really are making the machining community so big. And I'm really hoping that we can build more of a disabled manufacturing community where more people with disabilities are actually out there doing shit, building stuff, designing stuff. How, you know, if you can't physically make it, maybe you can design it and send it out to somebody like myself or Scott and get it built. There are companies out there that will build stuff for you. And if you're doing more than one, the price comes down a lot. It's amazing even what the price of 5 is per piece versus the price of getting one thing done. That one thing, that's expensive. But 5, 10, 15, or 20 of it, the price starts coming down a lot after that first piece. So yeah, if you got ideas, shoot me a line, or, you know, get out there, hit up a local machine shop or a local fabricator. See if somebody locally can build it. If you can avoid shipping costs on things, that always helps. But I appreciate you watching the video. In theory, the healthcare bill is dead for now, so I'm going to get back out in the shop a lot more. And that's what I want to do. I want to be back out here. I don't want to be outside protesting outside my senator's office. So keep watching. We'll keep sharing stuff. And again, I'm on Instagram now, so check out the link below and let me know if I'm doing Instagram right or wrong, or yeah, I think I'm figuring it out, but very slowly. For a while, everything I posted was on Instagram stories, which are evidently short YouTube videos, and y'all know I'm long-winded, so that doesn't work for me. But my girlfriend showed me how to put it on actual Instagram regular posts. So I'm going to try getting better at that and keep posting stuff a couple times a week. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next week.